Welcome back to JPAD Tuning, guys. Hope you're all well. Before we move on to our next guest, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button so you can see more of the episodes that are coming up in the future. We're interviewing loads of different guests and they're pretty awesome. The next guest is a good friend of ours. We've got on with her since day dot. We've photographed her wedding, we photograph her teams all the time. She's very well known in the cheer community and her name is Rachael Smart from CheerForce 10. There isn't really any structure to this interview because we're friends. It's sort of like a catch up and we're generally chatting about what's happened over the previous year. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's move on and get Rachael on.
Yay!
Yay, there she is.
Can you see me all right? There you go.
I can.
Honestly, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. Are you?
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, actually, the sun was out yesterday, wasn't it? So I feel like I've kind of just, a little bit more with it today.
Oh, yes. Have you got loads of snow around you?
Yeah, we have, yeah. Yeah, we were sledging yesterday. Yeah, so it was John's birthday on the weekend and it started snowing in the morning. So we've just basically been making the most of it, tried to make snowmen. It's been great.
Wicked. I was doing that on Sunday with my little one.
Oh, I did see, yeah. The picture of you with the little one in the sledge. That was lovely.
Yeah, she, well, it was quite daunting because the last time we took her out, she absolutely hated it. But
oh, really? How old is she?
She was 5 last week. No, hold on.
Oh.
5 at the start of the month.
Yeah,
like
goes quick, doesn't it?
This month's gone so quick. I'm like, oh, but yeah. So she was absolutely loving it, and to be fair, so was I. And tell you what, it's so much easier, like walking about if you put them in a sled.
It is.
Just drag them along. You get there quicker, didn't you? It's great.
That's what we find as well. Yeah. Well, Rosie's been doing homeschooling like everyone else, and I said to her, I think it was about 11 o'clock, and the sun was out yesterday, and I thought, Roo, what's your next class? And she was like, D2. I was like, come on, it's all right, we'll go out instead. So she was like running with Sandra on this sledge, and he just ended up like just rolling out a bit more times than anything else. But yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, so I'm good. It was nice for a bit of normality, just to get out of the house a little bit. And
everyone forgot about like the pandemic.
Yeah, the snow happened, and yeah, exactly. But no, everything's well, we're just doing our Zoom classes here, so that's kind of the same old. John's busy because he looks after 4 schools, so he's constantly in meetings. So they've had it tough. Like obviously the teachers find out last minute, don't they? Which you'll know, like what's happening. So you'll get like things sent in at God knows what time, and then have to like put it into practice the next day. And so it's so a lot of the time I'm like running around the house with Xander trying to keep him quiet as like John's on meetings, loads of heads are like,
you're just like photobombing a Zoom call, just like, hi guys. Honestly,
yeah, Xander is something else, because he's like 1.5 now. He's just like crazy kid. So but no, it's fine because most of our classes are when he's in bed, so like that kind of works out all right.
That's all right.
Yeah, and then a lot of our coaches are doing things, obviously, because they're just wonderful. So we kind of did a bit of a shake up with our timetable in this lockdown, Charlie. So we the last 2 times we were basically doing like mammoth Zoom classes for each one of the teams. So if you were like, say you were in Youth 2, you had like a 2-hour class every week, and we were just finding that the kids were just not engaged, like, if there were crossovers. So they're in like multiple teams and they could just be on Zoom all night, and then they've been on like their laptops all day doing like schoolwork. It's too much, isn't it?
Yeah, what is it? Zoom fatigue, isn't it? So
yeah, that's as if that's even a thing. What is that? Zoom fatigue is actually a thing. Yeah, so we've broken it up and we're kind of doing like little snippets. So they've got like 45-minute classes, and there's like loads of little things they can join in on. They can kind of like pick and mix it. So if they've got a week where they're like overrun with school stuff, or they can like choose certain things, they've got like special guests and stuff. So yeah, we find that's a lot better, because the last thing you want is the kids to start falling out of love with what they love, because that was our biggest fear.
Without a doubt. I can, there's been loads of that, hasn't there? Obviously, everyone's getting fed up and is like, oh, just don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, like, obviously speaking to coaches in different teams, people are, they're worried, aren't they? They're worried that we're going to get out of this and people are going to, well, I suppose there's different scenarios. One, they're going to be like, actually, I do quite like being at home, just in my own company, in my own space in the evenings, like just chilling out. Or, you know, you've got those kids that actually like, no, I want to do something. So we're just hoping that there's more people that, no, get us out of here, we want to do something at the end of all this, that, you know, people don't just get, and also lose their confidence too. Like kids are struggling with their mental health, aren't they? That just, everybody's struggling with their mental health. And then you've got these poor kids that are going to be expected just to be pushed back into normality. Like it's madness. So that's why I'm like, when we're looking at our Zoom classes as well, we're just trying to keep it like short and sharp and interesting and more like social catch-ups, a lot of it. You know, how are you? You know, what you've been up to, like over Christmas, it's like show us your Christmas decorations. It's like, let's look at your pets. You know, it never grows old having like little brothers and sisters like running around the screen. Like there's always that. But yeah, it's just trying to check in on everyone really. But we have lost people. We're just hoping that when it all kind of goes away, we get people back. And but it's the same everywhere, isn't it? What can you do?
Unfortunately.
And then there's like you guys, obviously there's a competition. As if we were together. It was nearly
a year ago. Well,
no way.
It'll be a year ago in March, won't it?
Yeah, I actually remember it so well. I remember coming and sitting with you before, because you know what I'm like, I always get there early, don't I? It's the only thing I'm ever early for is competitions. Literally, it's the only thing in my life I'm early for. Getting there early before going on the judging stand and just like chatting with you, like having a coffee.
Do you know, I actually, like, now you bring that up, I remember talking to you at Worcester when everything, like, you'd perform, you had a massive gap, and then you guys were upstairs just having a break and eating some food just out the way, like, no, don't come near me, sort of thing, let me chill out. And I remember chatting to you there like, oh, the season's going to be amazing. And then flip side, I remember us sitting round like the round table in Derby, and just chatting away and like finding out the meaning behind the CheerForce 10 name and all that kind of thing.
I forgot I told you all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's completely unreal, isn't it? And yeah, that was, well, you in Worcester was a year ago. That would have been the weekend just gone, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Or lots of our kids keep putting it there, like, you know, time hop things, like sharing the memories. It's lovely. Yeah, because I've got the photograph that you came and gave me of me and Xander in the photo studio.
Yeah.
Which is in his room. Yeah. So it looks lovely. That is. Yeah, it's just bizarre because we were sat around the table, weren't we? And this is as it was all going on. Because you know what, Charlie, I remember it all kind of caught up with me because I was sat on the judging table, and obviously it was Union Nationals, wasn't it? And there was these big gaps between some performances because some people couldn't perform because they had lots of their team isolating, and then some people, I think their coaches wouldn't even bring them down, would they? They were like halfway to us and they were turning them around. So you had quite a lot of time to think in between things, and normally it's just like go. And I think, I can't remember who it was I was sat next to. I think it was Kerry Love from TLC, and she mentioned that she'd just seen about Worlds and everything, and it was bizarre because I was sat in front of the BCA big banner, in front of the banner that we got the bid from, finding out that we couldn't go. It was just really surreal, and it just had that moment of it was just bizarre. And then of course then it happened again.
So here we go again. When you're on, and we're but I mean there's a lot of positivity at the minute with all like the vaccine and everything, isn't there? And
definitely
it's just getting that rolled out and see how it goes, and then fingers crossed we will be at competition again, sitting around a round table, but not enough time to talk. So you'll be running off to the judges' table, running off to see the performances.
And I'm just going to leave Xander with you. Generally, there you go. I would know, but I think it will, and I think do you know what, like you say, there's positive, because at some point we'll be back to it, and when we are back to it, it'll mean so much more. I had this conversation with Rosie actually, because she felt quite down the other day, because she's of course worked for these routines and she'd worked towards Worlds and it was going to be her first one, and you know, I feel like, oh, actually she's fine because she just takes it, but she did have a little bit of a moment. I just chatted to her and was, well, just imagine that time, Rue, where like you're in warmer and you're stood there waiting to go on the floor, or the team that you coach is about to go on the floor, and that moment, that lull, when all of your supporters and the people that love and care about you are there, you've got the judges that are sat on that table loving what they do even more so because they've been able to do it, like you guys are everyone, there's just the buzz is going to be so much more. The first people to come on that floor is just going to be the most emotional, wonderful thing, because we're going to appreciate it more than we ever did.
Oh yeah, without doubt. Yeah, like it is going to be, it's going to be amazing. Like we had a conversation, well, that was almost a year ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like about the appreciation and everything, but it still stands today. I miss the screaming and the really loud stadium. Like, and I can't wait to go there. And before it was like, oh my God, I've got a headache. And it's like, now I'm like, I want the headache, like give me the headache sort of thing, because it has been missed. And it is.
Isn't that's so true? I'm so glad you've been honest about it as well, because the amount of times I've probably moaned to you about it, or I moaned to John, but you know, like just going to like the Premier Inns and stuff, or like, oh, what time are we going to get there after work, or like, oh, if it's snowing, how are we going to get there, and the roads, and oh, have you got there in less time, all that kind of stuff. Then where you're eating on the night time, and then just, or what time the competition opens in the morning.
Yeah.
The moans. You're like,
oh my God, I got to be up at 5.
Like, which one? Who's on first? Who's on first? Brilliant. We don't have to be there until whatever time. But yeah, like even that, I think, yeah, bring it on. It's fine. Give me the coffee. I'll be all right.
Yeah. It will be like, it will be crazy. Like there's been, like you said, everyone has a look at their schedule. They're like, oh, right, first performances at 7, say, we're not performing till 10. Oh, we'll get there at like 9, it'll be fine. But like now, as soon as doors open, like the doors are just going to be crazy. People are going to be barricaded.
Yeah, they will.
I just want to get to camp. And
people actually want to sit there and watch, because people don't tend to do that as much anymore. Well, didn't do that as much anymore, did they? They kind of, you just come for your teams. There wasn't that many, but we've always got there really early, because I'm just horrible generally, really. They're always like, why have we got to be there at like 7 o'clock? We're not on till 11. Because you need to be there, because you need to soak up the atmosphere. You need to get your hair done.
Well, yeah, and the amount that you've got to control as well, and make sure that they're all in one place at a certain time.
And you just
I'm surprised you're not like sleeping outside the door, just like, oh,
well, yeah, well, we get the hotel literally right next to it. It's all right in Telford though, isn't it? Because we literally are just down the road.
Well, yeah.
One of our kids on, I think it was the first one that we missed, she literally lives right by the International Centre, and she went outside the International Centre when it was supposed to be nationals and did a routine, like marked it out the front. It was so sweet. I know, it's just bizarre, isn't it? It really, really is. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited about getting back into it. I think for us, we're just in this really awkward position now where we don't really know what to do with the routines, because we were doing really, really well. Like, so our dance teams, we've got 2 little mini pom teams now, and we've got like our newer mini pom team, mini Rhapsody ladies, and they had like 4 8 counts after their routine. That was it. And now I'm like, oh, keep remembering it, kids, but in the same way, I don't want it to get stale and you not enjoy it, because you know what, we can reuse that routine, we can do it, but it's knowing how long you can keep pushing it back, isn't it, really? But we work so hard on the routines that we've got ready to go. I'm not ready just to say, oh, let's just not even worry about it, let's just put a line underneath it. We're going to make sure that we use them in some way. Like our lyrical routines are just phenomenal this season, and our world routine is so good. These kids are brilliant. But we've just had this conversation because we have Tony Hodges from Got Cheer Music does our pom routines.
Yeah.
And we had a good chat with him. I think he's in Budapest, I think. I don't know, he did tell me. So we had this Zoom call with him, and he's working on like the next international prom routine already with us because we've got a new theme. So I'm excited about that. Nice. So at least I can control that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be amazing. Wait till you hear that one. But yeah, like the apart from, I just don't like standing still. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm personally struggling with. Yeah, I don't like just thinking, okay, yeah, let's just wait here. And yeah, I like to be able to keep pushing and looking forward. But I think at the moment, we're kind of just accepting that we have to just be on pause a little bit, don't we?
That's it. It's all about just keeping the morale going, isn't it? And the positivity. And like it was nice to actually be a part of that as well, because I had quite a few parents getting in touch asking if, like, just to highlight the athletes. And just like they were saying, like a few of them, they were saying like the girls are getting down, they're having a bad day kind of thing, can you just post something on like Instagram and just to like pick them up? And then as soon as I'd done it, I was then getting another message from the parent going, oh my god, you don't realize what that's done. And I'm like, that's really nice. Like I'm not saying, oh my god, we got this amazing following, like we're influencers and all this kind of thing, but to do something that's like so little and it becomes so big.
Oh, definitely.
I think that
what you do when you share, because a lot of the photos and things as well that you share, sometimes like the side views and things, aren't they? Or they're like really in the moment. So when you share something like that, you're not only sharing them a memory, you're sharing like how they felt at the time. And for those kids, a lot of the time it's kind of reminding them their why, isn't it? Okay, this is why I'm working really hard at home. This is what it's going to feel like when I get back into it. It is worth the wait. And you just kind of reminding them that, like, that's what JPAD do when they put those photos out there, when you're asking how everyone is, you know, it's kind of reminding everyone that you are still there and that you are going to be there and going to be their supporters when they're back at comp. And it does make a difference. It definitely does. We've got like a little group on Facebook. I just put on there the other day, show us your competition memories, because Johnny from CheerForce Nights did it in his group and it went so well. So loads of people just like put photos on there, and doesn't mean there's a few they put on there of me that are horrible, that did it on purpose, but that's fine. Like there's one that you've got of me, it's so bad, it's so funny. It's from the sailing routine when I made one of those hats, you know, those white bonnet things. You probably can't remember. Yeah. You caught a picture of me. I'm going to send it you after this. And I literally just stood there looking all like, just really feeling sorry for, like, trying to be in the moment for this contemporary lyrical. It's so bad. It's so funny. And they just keep sharing it.
Well, I came across, because I was putting together like little videos on Instagram and that, and I came across ones of you going absolutely mental on the side of the mat. Just like, come on girls. And
it's actually dangerous. Like, honestly, I've had to have Xander taken from near me when I'm like, because I'm gonna knock him out. I just get so excited, I can't restrain myself.
Well, no, I get the guys, like when we're photographing routines, if like anything happens or something goes in front of the camera, like I ask them to basically make a note of it and send it across. And every routine of you, like of CheerForce 10, they're like, yeah, there might be a few hands, like, or I might not have got the side of the mat. And I'm like, yeah, that's Rachel. Then like before I've even seen the photos, I'm like, yeah, it's probably Rachel just diving in front. It's cool.
So what we're saying here is, any of our parents are watching, I've probably ruined many a photograph of your kid. I'm really sorry, because I get too excited.
No, it's good to see, but I have got video of it, so I might have to put like a
montage.
Just a proper like Rachael feature.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Well, I'm sure that'd be amusing. I do remember someone telling me to calm down when I was heavily pregnant at Jam Fest.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh my god, at Jam Fest, John, because John plays our music for us and that's what he normally does. Well, he doesn't anymore, he's got sacked from it because he played the wrong one in the world round.
John.
The world's bid round, he played the wrong song. And there's me, like, literally a week away from giving birth, and the wrong music comes on, and my girls are like stood in a line ready to go. And I could just see them looking towards John like, we are actually going to kill you. We're going to kill you. I had to like run from the front of the stage all the way around the side. And he was just stood there with the music guy. I think he thought I was actually going to like attack him.
Love
it. Yeah.
Love it.
So memories, no. But I miss even that.
What, telling John off?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, at least he's not in it anymore. I can't. I still haven't been able to. They choreographed, and the kids choreographed him a little dance move on the side of our cheer routine the one year. Tez did that. And if you watch it, you'll know exactly what I mean. This stupid head shake thing that you got John to do. And I was like, no, I'm not having it. And John did it because he knew I couldn't do anything when he was on the floor. And not once did I ever watch it. I still don't know now what he did. Brilliant. No. The girls loved it though. They thought it was hilarious. So that's the main thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So like when like how long were you actually back in the gym then? When were you allowed to go back? And then, because obviously there was loads of different things going out, wasn't there, saying you weren't allowed to do this or that?
God, you know what? And every day kind of merges into one with me. Right, so we had the first lockdown, didn't we? Then we managed to do a lot of our tryouts outside. So we pulled out like strips of tiffin, dance floor, like offcuts, and did them outside. That was in the summer. A couple of times it rained, so we were like having to get the mats in really quickly. That was fun. But we managed to do that. So we managed to do our teams in the summer on Zoom and then outside. And then I think we had a few months. The younger ones, because of the tier that we were in, managed to do some stunting, but not for very long. Luckily, we acted as soon as we could to get them to do some of their lifting and stuff, so that they have at least done some. But for our older athletes, they haven't really been able to do anything, like so the dance lift, things like that, they haven't been able to do. Do you know what? I can't even remember, Charlie, how long we were in there for. I actually can't even remember, because it feels like we've been on Zoom the whole time, but I know that we haven't.
Yeah.
Not many months. Because then, of course, we went back in, didn't we? In the November lockdown, and then we were back in the gym for a day. A day. And like all the cheer coaches will completely understand the amount of work it takes to put your timetable back together, so that you haven't got your crossovers, you've got your cleaning time in between classes, your rec classes are looked at, and all of this. And then we were in a day, and I was like, okay, great, I think I've got this, like we can do this up until Christmas. And then nope, back onto Zoom, so we had to do another timetable, and oh dear. Oh wow.
Oh well. Hey, just move on. It's just another lockdown, isn't it?
However, like you said at the beginning, you've got to keep looking at the positives. I remember back a couple of years ago, if this situation had have been, not this situation particularly, but a situation where you had to change things on the spot would have been thrown at us, we wouldn't have been able to cope with adapting just like we have. We have adapted so fast. These kids, their families, the coaches, everyone just adapts. If you put a post up and send them an email and go, this is what it is now, guys. Of course, that obviously it affects them. They might not like things, and it's hard for them, but they adapt and they change and they grow with it. Like the whole industry's doing that, aren't they? I mean, we're learning to kind of just run with it, really. That's the main thing. So I think that's one thing that we can take as some kind of learning curve, that we've learned how to adapt to anything. I mean, who would have even have written that we could be doing these Zooms where we're doing like stunt work with backpacks and getting those shoes together with like noodle things in them? Like, you would never have even, if someone had said that to us like a year ago, we'd have been like, how can you even run that online? You can't do it. But they can. And when we got back in the gym and we could do some stunting, we were doing, because we did lots of work with extensions and stuff, and our bases getting close together over Zoom, because they never do it. There's like a foot between the bases. It's the worst habit of some of my level 3 teams. So we're working on that over Zoom, got back in the gym, and do you know what? They hit straight away. What? Because they had remembered with their little shoe on Zoom exactly what to do. Now, I'm not saying they hit everything else straight away. They didn't, but that one bit. So, some things are kind of making a big difference. They're much more flexible. the kids are so flexible now because there's not a lot else really they can do. So their spikes are insane. I'm seeing some amazing pictures from some teams. Like I love looking at people's Instagram updates. I think Ash did one from DVA the other day, and like the before and after for her flyers. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I love seeing things like that. I love it when like coaches are shouting about their teams, and because it pushes your kids to be, oh, if that team's doing it, well, I want to do it.
Yeah, I want to be like that.
Yeah,
Let me get like that. Yeah.
so,
I mean, it is lovely to see, like, although you can't do exactly what you want to do, there's still the effort happening, and you can see that all over social, and like you said, the teams are, you're shouting about what everyone is doing, and the community feel is there, and everyone is coming together even more.
Yeah. Oh, when you say that coming together even more, definitely want to just say a thank you to all of our guest Zooms. So like I mentioned, how we've kind of rejigged our timetable. So we've had people come in to teach like Zoom classes with us, and quite a lot of those are doing that for free, just because, you know, maybe one of our coaches, like Emily's been doing fabulous. She's been going and doing like swapping coaching. So that we've had people in, and it's just been so wonderful to have a different face, a different voice with the kids, you know, just teaching something different, and for our coaches as well, because they're seeing how they teach. And I think it's just giving them an opportunity to learn from someone who might not necessarily have ever been able to teach them in the past. You know, these are people that they go against at competitions, so they're not only learning what they've got to teach them, they're also learning, okay, that such and such from that competition that we went against last time, they're actually real people, you know, that this is, they're not just, oh, you've got to beat them like the kids can get. They're actually wonderful people, and they deserve to be doing well just as much as you do. And do you know what I mean? I think it kind of opens things up to people a little bit more, doesn't it? The kids might, I personally feel like some of the coaches that have come in, they might, I just think that they have learned a lot from these people that they wouldn't have had the opportunity if we weren't in this situation. They just wouldn't have done. They wouldn't have had it. So yeah, we've got a few people that in store that I can't say because I haven't already told the team yet, but they're going to be really excited about. But people coming back in, like Danielle from Yorkshire Martyrs, she's wonderful. She just done classes with the kids. Rosie's always gets scared when she sees that she's come to do a guest because her legs like ache for about 2 weeks after. Yeah, they're all brilliant. They're great. So
like you said, it is nice to see like the collaboration, and everyone is willing to help each other. And who would have thought it like a year ago? But like that's what it's opened up. It's taught people to appreciate it even more, and then offer the help where they can.
Yeah, and that's it.
Like, it is nice to see. And do you think it's like, obviously you had choreographers and coaches like coming in from like the States, and all the lot of teams do it, and they but now it's literally jump on the computer, get them on there, and it's great to see that, isn't it? And get that input from.
Yeah. Do you know what you mentioned that though, that it'll be really interesting, won't it, because obviously a lot of teams do bring over people from like you said, the States and stuff, do the choreography and just to work with them and do stuff. Maybe this might depend on the travel bans and stuff. If we do manage to get in the gyms, but there's still that travel ban, maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll have to work with like more homegrown kind of talent, so like people from the UK, and so that might open up a little bit more, because there are some phenomenal choreographers that work in the UK, like end dancers and all that kind of pyramid, everything you can think of. So it might mean that they get more of a look in, other than, because normally people think, oh, we've got to get someone in from America, but not necessarily is the best thing when you've probably got someone a lot closer. That might just make, I don't know, be that little bit more passionate maybe, because they're you know, they haven't done as many. But I mean, we work with some brilliant choreographers and close friends from America, and we're just devastated they haven't been able to come over, and they're wonderful. And obviously seeing how it's affecting like the teams that they work with and the gyms that they work with in America, and just madness. Like, we get on quite well with Peak Aesthetics, because we met Nicole when we were judging at BCA Glasgow a couple of years ago. so we got quite close with them. So just hearing how things are affected, like the American teams, and not just the American teams, like the different states in America, like some people are still completely locked down, and in some places they just had MDA nationals, literally just, it's just, you think,
it's crazy, isn't it? Because I've spoken to like Travis on a few occasions, and I
saw some of that actually, what Travis was saying. It's really interesting what he was saying about how different places are and how they're reacting to different lockdowns and stuff. And
and I mean, that was what, September last year, so God knows what it's like now, but it is crazy to see like the difference between us and them. And then I've been talking to, like, I've got friends in Spain, and it's comparing the three, it's completely mad. Like, if you,
what's happening in Spain at the moment, what are they allowed to do?
Well, when I spoke to him last, I mean, this was before Christmas, if you stepped outside your door without a mask on, then you got a fine. And it was like, oh God. And this is like where he was, but then down the road it was absolutely fine. And it was crazy. I don't want to like say something wrong and it get quoted, but not that it will. But it was, they were very strict on like the shopping and all that, whereas we could go in like 2-3 people from a household, whereas now it's obviously one. But like back then they were only allowed one person. It was queues the length of the street kind of thing, and it was just crazy seeing the difference. And it was like, why aren't we doing that? But then obviously they've locked us down now, so and they've got on top of it, which is odd. It's good. It's like, let's get this out of the way, let's get the vaccine rolling, let's see some normality. What that looks like, who knows?
And again, I think that we'll all just adapt to whatever that is, because
this is it.
As we talk now and say, getting back into competitions, and that might look different for a while, that's okay. Okay. It might be that I don't know, like you have a certain amount of spectators that go in, and then you get to watch your team, and then you've got your certain slots. The amount that this industry is adapted already, I'm confident that they can sort something, and that they can keep moving forward with whatever restrictions they've got. There will be something, and then that next stage will go, and then they'll adapt something else, and it will go back. It's when, isn't it? And
it's when. I just want, when, how.
That's it.
But no one knows, do they? It's like asking how long's a piece of string. But
that's it. I think that for our team specifically, I just would love to be able to kind of have some way of just shouting out and showing how hard they've been working and things, and what they've worked up to so far, and like routines not just getting wasted and all that. That for me is just, that's the worst feeling, that we've created something that might never get to the light day. That's almost like you put your heart into something, the kids put their heart into it. I just refuse to give up on that right now. They will get used at some point. We'll keep their hard work, won't be for nothing. That's something that we will keep going with.
And I think it goes back to like the passion and appreciation, doesn't it? When they can finally go out on that floor and hit, then it's like, oh my God, like it'll be amazing to see the emotions like after the first performance from like a team, wouldn't it? And
I think that the emotions from the performance will probably be much more than the awards. So I would imagine that those, like, literally I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this, the awards, and I don't really think anyone's even gonna, because quite realistically, how can you fairly judge awards right now? Because even if we managed to do some kind of virtual events, whenever, some places have been in lockdown longer than others. Some people have been very, very poorly, like their teams have been in isolation. And so what are you actually judging? Are you judging the luckiness that they've been in the right tier for, do you know what I mean? So actually what we're doing at an event is not competing, we are celebrating what it is that we are passionate about. And I think that is what's going to get us through. I think that being there, watching it and celebrating the sport and the kids and their love for it is what's going to be much more important and more powerful than the awards at the time. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
I still think my suggestion about the toilet roll for ladies of 10 would be perfect.
Oh God, yeah. Give me strength. Yeah, let me just take a sip of my Coke.
Brilliant.
Honestly, wait to see their theme though coming up. It's great. It's so good.
Do look forward to seeing it again.
Well, the one we've got at the moment is amazing, and the girl power one. So you're still doing photography and stuff, but outside with just less people. Like what?
So obviously before all this, like majority of the time I was doing cheerleading and then schools, and then like the school concept inside the cheer gyms. But then because of all the restrictions, we couldn't obviously do cheerleading, so that was gone. The schools were cancelling left, right and centre because the kids were going into isolation, or the schools were a bit worried bringing outside contractors in. So that was a bit of hit and miss. So now it's sort of trying, because majority of my work is weekend. So it's trying to flip it and get things in the week, which I have been able to do, but then obviously you get to a stage and the government locks you down and you're like, oh right, well, we can either go outside or we'll have to wait. And
what does it mean? Because when we say, oh, the government locks you down, they don't actually specifically say, right, if you're in this industry, you can do this, this, and this. Still, because they're still saying if you still need to go to outside to do your job, or you can still do it. So it's like reading between the lines, isn't it? What can you even do?
Yeah, and it comes down to how comfortable the other person is.
Yeah.
Like with it, and which is understandable, and I've got like nothing against it. And it's like you said, it's sort of, you're used to it now where people go, oh no, we can't do it because of COVID. And it's like, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, we'll wait, kind of thing. And it's trying to work with, because I was like, majority of my business was business to consumer, whereas now I'm trying to flip it and do business to business as well. And it's trying to, when you're going from there to there and trying to get your name in this part when it's well known here, it's sort of like, oh, like you're pretty much starting a business all over.
That is pretty much.
And so it's trying to get your name out there, giving value, so then you can start earning money from it, and working a lot on like personal branding and trying to get people like visual marketing, things like that, getting people and helping them push their work online. And trying to help with the marketing, and because the company I'm working with at the minute, they specialize in social media. So I mean, I'm not actually earning a hell of a lot from it, but I'm learning at the same time. So
that in itself is worth it then, isn't it?
So I'm upskilling myself and doing a bit of self-education. Yes, I'm getting a little bit of money, which will like put food on the table. But the value is actually in the learning, the things that I'm doing. And it's like when people come to me and ask me what to, like, they mention something that they're struggling with, I can go, oh, I know how to, like, I can help you with that. And have you tried this? And have you tried that? And
so that's exciting, because you wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for all this. You wouldn't be helping out happy people.
This is it. And it was off the cuff, like, because it was a headshot session. So I got a text message saying, can you do me headshots? I've got to put a article in, or I'm front cover of a magazine. And I was like, yeah, sure. Went and did it. It was supposed to be like an hour's shoot, ended up spending 3 hours and just chatting away. And it was like, because she knew, because I do a lot of networking basically. And the last physical one that I did, I obviously, you stand up and you do a little pitch, who you are, where you come from, all that. And all these people were saying, yeah, I run insurance firms, I run printing companies, and we're doing this much printing, rah, rah, rah. And I stood up and went, I'm an event photographer without any events.
Perfect.
At which time they all just, they didn't know whether to laugh or go, oh my God, what do we say to that? But then that stemmed from me saying that, stemmed a massive relationship with all those people in that room.
Yeah.
Every single one of them reached out and said, right, how can we help you? You need to do this. And so
that's amazing, Charlie.
Like, and it was wicked.
Because you were real. That's a thing.
Yeah. I was honest and all that. Yeah. And like, that's what I've learned, because I'm saying I'm waffling here, but because I've moved into doing personal branding and all that, before the pandemic, I went into like network meetings with a shirt and tie on, jeans and a jumper. And pandemic hit, and I went, well, actually, it's quite false for me doing that, because I never wear that unless I'm going into a school.
Yeah.
So I went into this meeting with jeans, trainers, and a hoodie on, with, you know, the sparkly pink JPAD. Black jumper. Went in there, and I just stood up and I was honest, and I went, right, this is me, kind of thing. And then ever since then, everyone knows me to be in a hoodie and 9 times out of 10 in a hat.
Yeah.
And it's a bit weird if I walk into a room with a shirt on.
Yeah.
And it's
and you just got to be yourself, haven't you?
Yeah. And like the transparency and all that has been lovely, and like I've built so many relationships from it. It's been great, and like getting to know people more in the industry as well, because obviously we're new. We're still new to the industry, aren't we? So it's only we've been in it 3 years, so I still count that. Although we've done loads of competitions, I still count us as very new. But trying to build the relationships and meet new people, and
especially right now.
I mean, it has been great, and I've loved it.
Yeah.
Just wish we could get back to competition.
I know, and but everything that you've learned over this time then is when you do get back into like what you do, what you enjoy doing the most, you're just going to fly with it, aren't you? It's just going to be
without a doubt. Without, like, the thing that I've learned, and it's like from day dot when I started, you get knocked down, you've just got to learn how to get straight back up again.
And I think that's why you love the cheer photography in events, because it's that is like in essence what it is, isn't it? Our sport, like, and every sport obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that your passion with capturing those moments to do with that is probably, it's just perfect for you, isn't it, with JPAD? That's just,
oh yeah, we love it. Like, I spoke with Caroline the other day, and she was talking about like getting the perfect picture and all that, and I said, like, 9 times out of 10 we will get a great photo, but we're always working to get that extra one. Because it is, and that's exactly like I said, like you get knocked down, you get straight back up again, and you're trying to learn how to better yourself. And like that's over this time, it's been lovely to see that on social media from all the athletes, all the teams, the coaches. This has been a big knockdown, but they haven't let it phase them. And they're like, right, we will do this.
Yeah, you can see you haven't really seen a lot of moping around on there either, have you? It's just pulling together, and really when people are finding it tough, because that.
Oh, you're frozen. You did right, little pal.
And everyone pulls in. You what's that again?
You froze then, and you were proper like staring into doing your vocos.
Can I just say you froze earlier on as well? And do you know that's one thing that the kids do now when we're doing the Zoom classes? They're compiling a group of photos of when the coaches freeze.
Have a little collage.
But yeah, I can imagine I've got one of them as well. You talked about the collages earlier on. Yeah. But I can't remember what I was saying now. You put me off.
Sorry, mate.
But I think that's with the social media side of things. We see a lot of like Star Spirit, because I get on really well with Charlotte from Star Spirit, and they're always putting really nice positive posts up there, and it does make a difference, because you can just get up in the morning, if you see that, you think, oh, do you know what? Yeah, that team's doing this. Yeah, okay, it's all right. And because it's okay, everyone has days like it. Like our coach, we're saying that we're working for, making sure our kids are okay, but our coaches have days where they need someone just to say it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Oh, this is it. Everyone yeah, they do have their down days, and it's having that support around you, and it's the willingness to actually say, I'm having a down day.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, like, if you are, there's nothing wrong with it. You just like openly admit it. Like, for instance, if you go back to that network meeting, when I said I've got no events, literally I had phone calls like an hour afterwards saying, I'm coming to your office, what are we going to do? And like,
that's giving me goosebumps. That's lovely.
It was, and like it was quite emotional, and it's sort of like I was at a point where I'm like, what the hell do I do? Do I just go find a job, go like stack some shelves or something?
Yeah.
But
which
instead,
is fine. There's so many people that have had to go and like learn a different trade or do something else to put, but you were able to do something where you could continue along your kind of path of what you're doing and keep learning, couldn't you? And just from being real, really.
Oh yeah, and that was like, it was lovely. Like,
that's great. That's really good news, that is.
The whole way through, I've been emailing like a few people just saying, hope you're well. Like, if you need anything or want to chat, just give us a shout. And I remember
when you said, sorry to interrupt, you said we could have your Zoom meetings, didn't you, when we first started? Because you can only have the 4, and then Emily's gone and sorted out that we can have that unlimited. But it's just things like that, isn't it? Like, you just being there for people and just saying, like, we can help.
Yeah,
it means a lot. It does.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, and it was, it's paid off, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I think it's lovely. Johnny, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, speaking to you and catching up.
Always a pleasure talking to you, mate.
And I hope to see you properly soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Don't get me wrong, but I'm done with